true. And Shelton went so far as to say that he believed that even God had that pre-conscious history. We couldn't even have consciousness without it, he claimed. Now, even though it is not conscious, there's no amount of consciousness can penetrate into it, it is still there. It still exists. And it is active. That's where the music comes from. That's where the poetry comes from. That's where the high art comes from. That's where the great architecture, that's where the ideas and inventions, and it's all coming from that place. Although because it has to pass through consciousness, pass through the ego usually takes full credit for it. The individual who is trying to awaken those senses to listen to the unconscious, well, see, he's drawing his own map. He's setting his own coordinates in life. And he's trying to go at his own pace and his own time. In fact, his relationship with time is radically different than that experienced by his fellows. But of course, that person, just by doing those few things, is going to be an implacable enemy of the world. You know, he'll be at odds with other people for most of his life and probably considered eccentric. He's the Taoist. And as he progresses, he'll realize that there's not even any point of communicating at all directly to others. And in that sense, he's become a personalist. I personally think this card is the card of the personalist. And I was going to use the Hangman as the front cover, actually, for my book on personalism, Disciples of the Mysterium. Now, the personalist realizes, you see, that no statement about what he's going through or what he's experiencing is really worth making in one way because it's a process. So no fixed statement of where I'm at or what's happening is really relevant. You might do it in the early stages, but as you become more familiar with that process and how dynamic it is, the words in the end will cease. And it will be a case of, he who knows does not speak. In any case, this is the card of the philosopher, as we've been looking at it. It exemplifies the man whose perspective on life isn't the same as your hedonic, ordinary person caught up in all that ontic existence. The philosopher's work may have some effect on the culture. Of course it does. Anything we make has that potential of affecting culture for good or for ill. But the philosopher is certainly not of the kind of person that he encounters. He's never really been of their kind. He's sort of like he's been an inhabitant of Plato's cave, but he's emerged from that underground dwelling. Like Socrates, he's emerged. Now he's speaking the truth. But the moment that he starts to do that, the mass, the crowd, the earth, is all the more willing to strip him of his status and banish him to the wilderness.